Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, you'll probably figure out from the title what this is about, but what I wanted to discuss is multi-tool type of knives. And by that I mean it's a knife that has another tool on it that does a function that's not related, to a knife. I mean, it's not cutting or whatever. This one, you could say, well, it's piercing, and that's only for fending off vicious marlins when they're trying to spike you. But um, I was thinking about that, and what basically came about right when I went into the service, 1975. They came out with the Leatherman personal PST or whatever, personal survival tool. I don't know what it was called, but anyways, that came out, and I was still carrying a buck 110, so I didn't really pay that much attention to it. But we'll get to that because this is towards the end of what I'm discussing. But camp type of knives, or these are MOD knives or milk knives or military knives. Besides having a blade, the main thing is it's got to have a blade. This one's got one blade on it. It's basically a spear point, or this one looks like a sheep's foot. I don't know what you'd call that. It's not really a sheep's foot because a sheep's foot would come all the way down, and it's a drop point, I guess. It's a drop point, but I never really noticed that before. I thought it was more like a Camp King. It's weird. See, I thought yeah, Camp King's kind of that way too. Huh. Odd. Strange. But at least it's got a blade. The problem with these designs, and Swiss Army knives that have many tools and everything too. They're kind of like the best version. That's my door back there being blown open by the wind. The balcony door. They're kind of like the best version of it, because it's lightweight, compact, got a bunch of different tools. By the way, my Victorinox Explorer is on my missing in action list. And what's taken me so long is this has been missing also. I found it because I said, you know what? When I realized that was missing, I said, my whole story and everything is going to be about, my whole concept of this video is going to be about knives with pliers. And I can't find the main. I got other multi-tools, but I can't find this one, and this is important for what I was going to discuss. So anyways, getting back to this, I finally found it. But let me tell you, it's kind of like obsessive compulsive. If you're sitting there trying to find something, I was playing this kind of game with myself, like treasure hunting. Also, another one is you're getting warmer, you're getting colder. Because I kept doing, I would be looking at places, and my mind would be telling me, there's no way this is over here where you're looking at, What are you doing? Well, it might be here, And it gets me, at least, to narrow down my search methods, and sometimes that can be your whole problem, as sometimes you're looking for a particular shape or something like that, and it's not that way because it's this way, or there's a lot of issues. Oh, this, by the way, if you have one of these type of belts or stuff, I did this originally for the K-bar, a shower curtain rod. Man, this thing is perfect, because I don't know if you know it or not, but one of my main pet peeves is having to take your belt off to put on a sheath or a knife or anything else. I hate that. I mean, I can do it, but it just annoys the crap out of me. And sometimes I don't even carry something because everything else is perfect about it except for its mounting method. And this one, even though it's like this, it slides up on a belt. Put this part back here up on the ground. Oh, get up underneath here. It just goes up like that, and boom. And this thing doesn't flop around and do a lot of dangling. Now, on other knives, if you wanted to add it as a dangler, it works perfectly for that too. But there's something inexpensive and it works perfect. Nobody will notice if one shower curtain rod is missing, or clip. I'm just saying. You can get them for cheap too. They sell a whole pack of them for next to nothing. All right, let's get back to this. So these come in various sizes. Camp knives, camp kings, even this little tiny one. It's got, I don't know how good it is. It's got a little tiny kind of can. This is a thumbnail wrecker. I mean, yeah, this would work as a can opener. You just have to be very patient. And same with that. It's weird. It's small, but it's fat. Common screwdriver might work. There's your famous bottle cap lifter. No, it doesn't have anything else, like toothpicks or tweezers, or they could do a lot of stuff. That's like I said, this is well thought out. Now, how old do you think, like a multi-tool is? Well, it goes back to Roman times. They found multi-purpose, knives with tools on and stuff. But specifically for like pliers, this is more like around the 1900s when stuff started coming out. And one of the things that came around in the 1920s and stuff like that was, this is a pretty good example from Rough Rider, is a radio knife. It's what they call like a radio knife, because a lot of times you'd need to do little stuff like that. So it's got this little inner, ow, ow, ow. It's got this little inner biter thing, for like nuts and stuff. And halfway decent. These are not, like super duper pliers. Same kind of like leaf spring type of mechanism. And then, of course, you can cut stuff with your main blade. Now, this is one I thought was on most of those. This is more like a spear point. Anyways. Wham! And then down here, another fingernail breaker. You got a little screwdriver type thing. And this is like a wire stripper here. So you can see how it goes from no edge to, it's definitely got an edge on it. Nothing else on it. That's pretty cool. And of course, you've got the TL29s or whatever it is, 26, I don't remember. This is a Camillus version right here. The blade doesn't lock, but the screwdriver thing does. But USA. Alright, let's close that guy up. But here's your combination tool. Here's another way to lose a fingernail. Let me look at this guy. Oh, it's back here. I'll make sure. I was looking at through the camera and I saw that and I go, what? I'm seeing double. But yeah, you got, like this part can be sharp. This is a screwdriver. It's longer, it has more reach. These are like a lot more practical if you're working around, like electrical stuff. Of course, we've already looked at the Marlin spike. Now here's one. This design also is from an early, like early 1900s type of knife with the pliers. And we'll look at that. I've got Levine's book out. I just figured I'm going to be yammering a lot, so, but mainly what I wanted to get down to is, I think this is the ultimate plier setup with a knife. This is the ultimate plier setup with the knife. The way it's hinged, how well it works, fits in your hand. It's just kind of like butterfly knife type effect. Folds in there. All the different tools. And in this case, you got a regular one and you got a serrated one. So you've got two knives. You got this, if you're doing a lot of work and everything, is almost, I think, ultimate, almost perfect. But there's a lighter method, although it requires more than one tool, and that's the Nipix pliers, and a sack. However many layers you want. You don't have to go a lot of layers, super lot of layers. I think like you start getting up to 3-4 layers, it starts getting crazy, you know, with Swiss Army knives and stuff. Just for a matter of convenience of carrying everything. After that, it starts getting where you need a sheath. You know, you need something, and then that means you need a belt, or you need some way of attaching it to your body, and you know, you're adding things that you need. Whereas pocket knife, usually all you need is a pocket. Now you can do that. You can drop this in a pocket. You can also lose it. It doesn't carry very well. It flops around like a carrying a lead weight in your pocket. A fully loaded magazine, La Pistola in your pocket rolling around. That's what it feels like. And it's not comfortable. So with this, it's small enough, it's light enough, it's flat enough. It depends on whatever you're working with. You can have needle nose pliers with the thing on it, but whatever your type of plier for whatever, this has a wide range of capabilities here, and it's only lacking thing really is the wire cutting and stuff like that, but you can substitute that with, you know, something that's more designed, you know, along those lines. But anyways, that's that. Now the next half of this, I want to keep these short, you know, so I want to keep, just for upload purposes and everything else. I'm going to make this short, and then the next one I'm going to cover Levine's. It's hard to get to this, but it's wrench knives. But he talks about it a little bit here. But some of the different types of knives that have been around, plier and wrench knives. And one of the things he talked about here was the alligator wrench. And I was saying, you know, what is that? And you've seen it before, but you probably didn't. I'm knocking crap over. You probably didn't know what it was. And it's that. It's this thing. And that's just that multi-shaped thing, you know, that in this case it's flat, it looks like, but it's got teeth. I don't know if he's got a picture of it in here. But it's a wrench, but it's not really pliers. You know what I mean? I mean, it can work that way. And if you look at this, these are some that are built in, and that's 1920 and 1930. So you can see the idea is not new when you see some of this, but I think what changed it all, at least for me, is when they combined the pliers like this, so you don't have the pliers sticking out. You don't have that crap in your way. It's not as awkward as carrying like this. You know, I've done this. I've carried a wrench in my pocket like this, a small wrench, and a knife, but usually not in the same pocket. It's just awkward like this, but it's handy if that's all you got and stuff. It just makes a good bicycle tool type of thing, you know, to carry around. But for me, if you're working at a factory, you're working around a lot of stuff, this was the ultimate, the Leatherman Wave. And anyways, there you go. Well, we'll read the rest of that other stuff. Like I said, I've rambled on too much, but that'll be like the part 2 of it. So, because I really got to manage my files and the diarrhea of the mouth. Oh, what a way to leave people. Well, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a dick about it, but that's just the way it is. I know, I ramble too much. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Well, they both came from over there, which is this house on the corner. And they're getting along a little bit better. I mean, they're not completely fighting and stuff. You got some stickers in you from rolling around in here, silly boy. He's rolling around all behind me. Shadow don't know what to do. What's going on, Shadow? Well, I'm gonna try to feed them both somehow, if they'll follow me. Well, I know where they hang out. They're probably getting fed up here at this house. Ain't that right, sillies? Silly cats. Alright, I'm not going to be able to film this. This is going to be too hard to walk and herd cats at the same time.